and welcome to my channel. If you're a return viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I'm so grateful. Otherwise, why not subscribe? Give me a like, you know what to do. And today, usually I'm sort of starting all the pen content with, yes, usually I'm a writer, but I'm also really interested in fountain pens. And today is sort of, I wanted to show the progression of a manuscript, because sometimes I'm showing spreads from my manuscripts. I'm like talking a bit about what I use the inks for, but I just wanted to let you see sort of the whole the result of it all, let's say, because today, or very close to today, my latest release is happening, and it's been a long time in the making. And I think it's also to dispel some ideas of how long does it take to publish a book, to be honest. Because I think, yes, you can kick them out really, really fast. You can expedite your schedules. I don't like to do that. My 9-to-5 job is in traditional publishing, in a small academic one. And so I'm used to, like, even though I think my work schedules are also quite quick, I quite like to follow a more traditional time sort of schedule for getting the books out there. So these two are Leuchtturm books. I've talked many times about that. Just see where it is, that I'm using an ink journal on Leuchtturm paper because I'm writing on Leuchtturm paper. To be honest, these ones I hadn't returned to fountain pens yet, so looking back, it's a bit of a shame that I used such an expensive notebook. But I can also say, yes, they have served me well. It's not just, for me, it's not just about the fountain paper friendly aspect, but also about, do I like the space between the lines? Do I like the color of the paper? Do I like the design of the notebook? How it feels? These are the hardbacks. They have like a little pocket that I don't really use for those, and like these kind of things for archiving, though I must admit I'm not really doing that either. I had quite a difficult time finding these two in my stash of used notebooks when I started to pull the material for this video together. But yeah, so these are, I've written them in black biro, and I think just in the very inexpensive zebra ones. And because I went through a pen every few days and realized that's not really sustainable. I need to find an alternative, which is how I went back to refillable biros and then back from there to refillable fountain pens. But this is so funny. This is not the title it's published under. This is the title it's publishing under, Everything the Sun Touches. I don't think I used the part titles, but you can see I started this book on the 20th of June 2023. It will release on the 15th of March 2026. So 3 years, around about 3 years from my first putting the pen to the paper and the release of the finished book. So, as you can see now, when I'm looking through it, it's very boring, it's just black. You can see lots of crossings out. And then this is part 1. This is part 2. And when did I finish? I actually finished on the very last page. That's quite, I didn't remember that. I really crammed as much in as I could. Trying to find a date here. Is that in August? Wait, I wrote this pretty quick then. Yeah, seems to be. No, it can't be. It's quite long. Sometimes when I'm on the last chapter, I really push through it and write a lot on a day. So, okay, yeah. I started this on the 20th of June, finished the first draft on the 23rd of August. So that's not a lot of time, actually. At the moment, I don't think I'm writing as fast, but I remember that this was quite a frantic book to be writing. So yeah, from this state, it then goes, I have to type it up, which is why I'm so keen on legibility, because my handwriting might look pretty from far away, but up close it's a scroll. I have big problems writing slowly. When I've done any calligraphy exercises, they drive me up the wall because I can't slow down, because I've trained myself so much to keep up with my thoughts, which is probably why I really should do it, just to sort of almost like a meditation exercise. But at the moment, I still nothing to aggravate me even further. Okay, so basically, this is the manuscript. 250 pages each. I usually divide them up so I know where I'm going. So 10 pages per chapter, so 25 pages per book, so 50 chapters. Space for 50 chapters. Each of those books is about 50,000 words. So this is about 100,000 and a bit. I think I recently looked up the final word count of the book, and it's about 118,000. So that gives you an idea what can fit into these books. And obviously they're not shiny and new anymore. Even if I only wrote in them for a month or so, I've carried them everywhere. They're dusty. Yeah. So that tells me that I had this with me when I went to Northern Ireland, which is amazing. Okay, yes. There are some bits and bobs in here. Even though, as I said, I had like really big problems finding them again. So I'm going to then, from this on, they go into a Word document. This Word document gets passed around to various people. I have one person who is basically my chief manuscript advisor, and I pay her for that because she gives really, really good feedback, and she's very familiar with my style and with the kind of stories that I tell. I write fantasy, but I would say it's more low fantasy, so it's more about it's not historical fiction because it's not our world, but it leans very heavily on research. So I'm quite obsessed with finding out everything about food in the medieval period or in the Renaissance period, or I have worked with horses before. I forage. I know about plants to an extent and mushrooms. I'm a dyer. I'm a fiber artist, let's say. So I've there are lots of bits of my life who factor into these books, but essentially they're fantasy. So yeah, Word documents I get passed around, then I get advice on them, then I work in the advice, then it goes to copy editing. The copy editor I'm working with now, this was their first manuscript that they edited, and it was just a lovely experience. So at the moment I have them booked for 2 more manuscripts for this year. They're working on the second part of this book at the moment. after it comes back from copy editing, I will typeset it because I'm doing that myself. And for this book, I also commissioned a cover artist because I knew this is more young adult adjacent, so I wanted it to have a more young adult cover. And because it's very character focused, it's not very action focused. It also needed to be like not something very dynamic, but something very beautiful but a bit more static. And it also has a magic dog in it, which is my favorite thing ever, animal companions. You see this is heavily marked up because this is basically the first proof copy, and it's amazing how much stuff you find when it actually looks like a book, when it doesn't look like a Word document anymore. So I basically did 2 rounds of proofs on this one. I failed to mention the cover artist who did this cover is called Mylan Cook. She's from Manchester. I don't know if I pronounce her name correctly, but she is on Instagram on the handle at Laulan Art. I will put it in the video if you want to look her up. And basically, one thing that I was really adamant about is that I have a no generative AI has been used in the creators of this book at any stage disclaimer, because it hasn't. And also the cover has been made by a human being. And I have used, it also has been edited by a human being. So it's coming out. So basically I did another proof copy for this one. But yeah, you can see, so it has like lovely illustrations. An acquaintance of mine did the map, and based on my own design, and also the little roundels, the illustrations for it. So yeah, I didn't go with the titles for each book. And then I worked on the corrections and everything, and then this is the hardback edition for the book. This will be available from my website and also from like events and stuff, but it's not going to be available online for like on various platforms. It's very like a limited thing. I just wanted to have like a hardback edition, to be honest. And this is basically the same. This is now the cleaned up version, and with all the lovely gold foiling, printed by Book Vault. They are like, you can do bespoke hardbacks through them. They are in the UK, and yeah, this is the difference between the paper book looks like and hardback. I will have a little launch event at my local library on the 27th of March, where I will be selling both versions of this book. But I just wanted to show you the Word documents come in here, but yeah, this is what it's all for. And when I first saw the hardback, I was crying, because yeah, it's that sort of this is what I'm doing it for. The second part, so it's a duology. The second part is a copy editing now. I wrote it just after this one, so it's actually had quite a long waiting time until copy editing, but it's longer, so I needed to save up for it a bit. But the next part, and the next and final part, is scheduled for publication in March 2027. I have the cover. I'm waiting for the copy edit file so I can start the typesetting. Yes. And then this is sort of my big release for this year. There will be a novella release in autumn. It's all typeset, everything. I just need to buy the ISBNs for it because you have to pay for them if you're not in Canada. And once I have the new set of ISBNs, I can start proofing that as well. If you're still here, you're amazing. Thank you so much for giving me the time of day. I just wanted to celebrate with you that this is now happening. Finally, I've sat on this cover for at least a year, I think longer, because it's quite spectacular and it really brings out their characters. To the story, it's basically a queer twist on a marriage of convenience. While sort of, I was very adamant that both sides need to get something out of it, and I wanted them to be friends. I wanted them to fall in friendship first before they get married, and basically the first book tells how they fall into friendship and the complications bound up in this. And it's set in a city that is like mainly like the fortune is made on trade, and Connor is someone from a very famous trading family, while Cecil is from an impoverished noble family, and he comes to the city to basically make a living because he has been disinherited. And then, yeah, they are thrown together and stuff happens. And at some point, there's a little magic dog in the mix, and he's my favorite character. My absolute favorite. Okay. These are the treasures. And this is why I'm here. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.